Okay, we're live.
Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Tuesday, August 13th, 8:03 a.m. Central. All right, so you've got the SPOOs in front of you, the Globex. So Globex 24-hour session. You'll notice back over here to your left, I'm the cursor. I'm highlighting that elliptical. Um, damn. Anyway, this is the area of the. It really broke through this 54 even area on that basically before the open on Friday morning. And this was really that thin, that low, massive, low volume area Dan made reference to on the call yesterday. That in all likelihood, when we revisit that area, we will literally just slide right through. We should be able to slide right through that breakdown area. And that was right at the 54.10, 54.11 area from pre market Friday. And in fact, that's exactly what we did. And we stopped right there almost to the penny. So that would have been a decent area for to be spotting out a short. Clearly, you're dealing with a 7:30 data release, so one might not necessarily have taken that short. Um, the You can see right here we've got, so we're trading right in here. We're up. SPOOs are up 31 and a half, 32 points. So that would kind of give us an SPX opening of about 53.75. Are we having audio difficulties? Can people hear?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay. Okay, all
We're
good.
good.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Trader. The In all likelihood, well, one, we're going to have a gap of about 32 points in the SPX. So I'll get over that in a moment. Looking at the ES right here, off of a gap up, we could possibly trade through this 54.10 area and get up to the 54.32 area, which is this major. You can see this was very supportive back from the end of July all the way through the beginning of August before the breakdown. And we tested these highs up at 54.90, 55.94, almost 5600, 56 even. So this is a big area of support. So if we trade above this early morning high, this 54.10, your next target, I'm not suggesting a breakout move to the upside to get long unless you have a chance for it to pop through it, retrace, let this serve as some support, and then we can rotate auction higher to the 54.30 area. My preference is going to be I'm going to be patient. I'm going to watch the gap up move, and I'm going to be looking to short the heck out of this 54.32.33 area. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Now, that price could be offset a bit by the time that I look at the ES SPX spread. By the time I look at that, it could indicate that the short level could be 54.30, 54.29, 54.30. So you'll have to refine your level accordingly. It's really critical because a lot of times you could be exposing yourself to 5 to 6 points of risk versus the 2 to 3 you're thinking, and you're sizing up accordingly. This could be the situation where you'll completely miss the short because the resistance area is going to be about 3 points lower. So that's just how these things work. But there's a possibility of trading up to that level. Um, that's It's just a possibility. The Another possibility is that we made this area, this 54.10, simply serves as a bit of minor resistance, and we trade back down to pre-market lows of 53.67, and maybe come back and test this 53.50 area from yesterday, and then down to this 53.27. But generally speaking, this is we had a lot. It was a low volume trade yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if we trade down to this level also. So if we get below this, then this is possible. Below this, then this is possible. So just think that way, and that's basically you're highlighting options to yourself, possibilities to yourself of what could happen. Nobody knows. There could be some positive data release that all of a sudden we go up and we get over this 54 30 area. That's possible. I think unlikely. Another possibility is we could get news out of the Middle East, and all of a sudden we go down and we absolutely break down this 53, 26, 27 area, which has been very significant. And Dan and I mean, that's just a number that we've highlighted for the last several trading days. We could easily trade below that if there's some news out of the Middle East, and it will be just like a toilet plunge all the way down to 52, even 5208, 10 area. That's possible. So um, I like to deal with possibilities, and I like to deal with the correlations to provide me edge and a better idea of what the market wants to do, not what I want it to do. Yesterday morning, I missed the couple of shorts. My ESSPX spread was actually it was off. I hadn't updated it quick enough to give me a sense the significance of the NDX level. And sure enough, I mean, it was just I mean, I missed it by like a couple of nanoseconds, if one can count that. But nevertheless, I missed it, and then I saw, and then there was a lot of trap shorts, and we reversed long, and we made we made the early morning high days. So a couple of people I know, Smooth was able to get along that and milk that pretty well. I saw a couple other people did too. So terrific for you. Yesterday was a low expectancy day, and it proved to be just that outside of the first hour trade. And we basically just sat and the market just toiled, really not doing anything. So, and we kind of had minor activity in the room, and that matches up to not much going on in the market, the low volume. And we knew there was data being released today and tomorrow. So we had some PPI data this morning. We popped a little off of that. Um, I typically these days electronically, I typically don't try to trade in the middle of that number. I look how the market responds to the number, to the data. I want to see the response, and I want it to establish some sort of range. So basically, you've got the data. So now I just went through, so I just highlighted this. I'm now on a 3 minute of just today's Globex session. You can see the established VPOC at 53.89.90. We had when the number came out. Let's see, we traded. Let's see, we took it down by about 6 or 7 points, and then it popped. So it popped almost 20 points there, 15, 20, 25 points. So that was actually a good move off of that data. And I'm sure some people might have been able to jump on board, but once again, not my gig. I know my gig. I know the setups where I'm able to, if I don't know the setup, I can't define the risk. If I can't define the risk, I can't size up for the trade. So if anybody at any given time, if you're kind of, there's fear of participating. If there's fear of participating because you're scared to lose, it's because you don't have a setup. There's no setup, high probability setup that can allow you to define the risk. You can define the risk because in the setup you can tell where is the trade wrong. Is the trade wrong by 2 or 3 points? Is the trade wrong by 5 points? Now you're getting somewhere. So now you've got a setup, and that's basically a trade idea. And now you're able to size up the trade according to that. So I'm going to be coming back and talking a lot more about the risk management stuff and defining what setups we look for. So that'll be something for us to continue to talk about. Anyway, so right now I'm going to go to, while we're on this, let's see. So now I'm on coin. I don't want to be on coin. I want to be on SPX. So now I want to define that level I was talking about. So on the SPX, you basically have got this level from, let's see, right in here, 53.97, so 54 even, up to about 54.03 and 54.11. So there's like a 3 to 10 point variance in this resistance level. And it looks like that's a bit of a gap right there at the 54.10, also in the SPX. So if you add, let's see what see the spread was the spread yesterday 24. So if you add 24 to that spread was 24.50 yesterday. If you add 24.50 to this area here, the 54.10, you're coming up with 54.33.34. That was pretty much the level in ES I was talking about. That will be the short area. So that's what we're going to be. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Anyway, it's we've defined where we're at. We've defined on the few possible trades in the indices, and from there I will pass it over to Lee.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, let's see where we're at.
Little volume stuff.
The better.
A little bit better.
All right. So, back to this this harmonic that we've been sort of trading since last week. We're super close to this 61.8 now, which is at 40 or 54.17. We've come within 7 points basically of tapping this. I imagine we'll come on at least test it at some point today. And then right above that, we have this 54.36 that Gov was talking about as an area that just looks very shortable. It's been a really strong area of support that then turned into resistance, and I'm sure, at least on the first try, is going to be an area to take a stab at a short. And there's also, if I flip over here, this is that 61.8 level, and here, and then right above it at 54.20 is a monthly pivot and a daily pivot. So it's a really high, this zone here from 17 to 20 is basically, I like to look for areas of confluence. There's a basically triple confluence there of resistance. So definitely keep an eye on that area for some weakness, how it correlates to the NDX, SPX, and if you get some good signals there that we're getting a rejection off of these levels, that would be a really good area to look for a short. And then, down here at this 53.71 area, we can see we had some support there in the overnight session this morning. And yesterday we kind of ground around that level too. So those are the two sort of high probability setups. If you want to take a trade and participate, those would be really some key areas to watch for long here, short there. And obviously look for other setups. I'll be looking for my patterns all day. We did have one this morning. This harmonic. This is a bullish harmonic. Came down to this level. This is just a perfect example of how I trade. So I didn't take this because it was my daughter's first day at school today and just wasn't trading early, getting her ready. But this harmonic came in. This is an M. It's bullish. And we came right down and supported at this. This is a pivot zone. So it was just a double confluence. You have the bullish pattern ready for reversal long, and it reversed right off of this level. And that was a good trade here this morning for sure. So let me go into some individual names. Oh, before I do that, just keep an eye on the SPY. This is the daily chart, and we have this 21-day moving average at 538, which is $2 above where we're at right now. So that could also be an area to watch for a rejection. That's going to be a sort of an algo spot, and we are kind of getting into this gap here too. Above this, what's this, 537? So a little gap up to like 539. So maybe there'll be a little slippage there, but definitely watch the SPY because there's some key spots there. On the individual names, Nvidia has just been a great play. We added that here last week at $99, and my primary target was this 109, and then Extendeds were 112, 115, 118, and we're at, almost 113. I only have runners left in it, but this was already like 250% play yesterday, so this is going to be 3, 4x, which is always nice. Microsoft yesterday added this. I got stopped out early on this loss of the 200-day, jumped back in, and now we're pushing at 410. If we can break over this 410 level, we have a ton of room to the upside here. And on the daily, I like this MACD is crossing here. Or not quite crossing, but it's getting ready to. See, this signal line is getting ready to flatten out, so this will start curling back upwards, and hopefully we can get this back up to around 420. And this, again, yesterday I shared the dark pool data, and there was some more that came through last night, so this has just been unusually large activity here in Microsoft. I was looking at M-Phase. This kind of has that same look as NVIDIA did when we got it at 98, 99 bucks. It's gapping up today. Stronger signal would be a break of this trend line, retest, and then see where it goes. We're testing this 111 area now. We've got some key moving averages right in this zone, so it could be a little trappy. So I would probably prefer to wait for a break of these levels, retest this trend line, and then see if we can get, up to around this 124 zone would be the primary target. I was just keeping an eye on oil. It's coming down a little off of yesterday's big move, huge move. So this is solely based on what's happening in the Middle East. So it's a good indicator of just to keep an eye on this, which will give you an idea of what's happening over there. If they expect some sort of large-scale attack is imminent, then that's what's going to cause oil to go a little crazy. And it might not be a bad thing to short if you see any news coming out that Iran are softening their approach. You'll see oil sell off pretty quickly. So just something to keep an eye on today and this week. I saw somebody mention Starbucks. I mentioned pre-market. They announced the interim CEO is going to be the guy from Chipotle. Forget his name. So that was gapping up pretty decent. Wow, 90 bucks from closed at 77. That's a pretty decent one, and I'm sure Chipotle is probably gapping down. Yep. So I guess he's a pretty respected guy. I wouldn't chase this. This is a huge gap up. Maybe even look for a little bit of a gap fill on it. Yeah, the Starbucks Chipotle pair trade. Not a whole lot else. I was kind of peeping at Tesla. This is kind of stuck in this range 190 to 205. So really just waiting for a break of this range to. I'm still long Tesla equity from the 170s. Scaled out of about 85% of that position, but I still have some left. This weekly chart is still intact though, and this can come back up and start pushing these higher levels, but right now there's no trade there. And that's pretty much it. I don't know if anybody else has got any questions or...
There was a lot of Tesla 205 call buying yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's basically this upper range here. And you can see we're supported here at the 189.30, 38, and then resistance here at the 205.03. Just two fib levels that we've been...
Bring up coin when you're done there.
Coin...
Because there was some activity there on the 205s as well.
Coin has kind of what looks like a bit of an inverted head and shoulders. A little messy, but and it's not a huge, if you do the measured move, you take this, That probably brings you up into this zone here, like 220.
Okay.
Kind of this
'Cause
level here.
I saw the 205s going off, so I picked up some of that, just a small position. I
Yeah,
wasn't as confident, so that's why it was a small position, and also that I didn't share it because I wanted to see how it panned out.
yeah. If I were long out and it gets a move, I'd be looking at 203.72 area to scale out.
Okay.
200 obviously this psych level here that's rejected a few times, and then 203.
Okay.
Snow. Let me have a look at snow. $116 average. I definitely would trim. If you've made $6-7 a share, definitely would be trimming. Do I see anything here? Not really. I guess this looks like it was a messy ABCD. So that's a bullish setup right there. That's another bullish harmonic. So you got the move off of that. Let's see where we're at. Fibonacci world. Yeah, you've got the 127 as a 50, and then 131.92 is probably going to be sort of capping this out. That would be where I would ultimately want to scale most of my position there at 131.92. Let me see. And Nvidia has been a really great play.
Yeah, I still have some of that
from like 98.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. The thing to sort of be careful of, as everybody in Twitter land is probably going to start getting super bullish, and they can be. This. I'll go with the more conservative aspect of this. This is a harmonic. We've had this C to D leg. We're getting close to the 61.8, which is a very common area for these to fail.
And what is that? What price does that match up against?
54.17.
54.
But if we get over this level, they have about a 82-83% probability of completing, and the completion is 55.46 right here, the 88.6. Not saying we get there today, or at all. We could reject here, but if we get over here, there's a good probability that we could get up to that 55.46 level. Now that's the conservative aspect.
I converted that in SPX.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to the 53.90 area from Thursday, the 25th of July. 53.90. That's the first significant level of resistance going up. I'll post it in the room, and you can see this 53.90 to 54.10. There's about it's a 20-point wide resistance area. So keeping in mind that's the area we're going to be considering short. Having that knowledge,
yeah,
you might want to wait for the reaction, but maybe don't go more than quarter size if you catch it early, because you could be exposed to a lot more points than you realize. But
yeah,
we'll get a better read off the NDX as well.
Right. And I'll just sort of throw this out there. These measurements fit two patterns, and I'm playing the more conservative one, which takes us to 55.46 for a completion. However, there is a pattern called a crab, which is less common, that takes us to a 161.8 extension, which is 58.97. Definitely not putting that out there as something I'm expecting, but it's just one of those things that's a probability. And that's all it is. And that's called the crab. So, that's about it. We're opening 2 minutes. Chance to
Yeah,
go.
give me 1 second. I got one more calculation.
Okay.
With NDX, it looks like if we were to open right now, we're going to open at about 18,727.
18.
18,727. So we're over. Okay,
I've got
that's
a
coming into
big
that resistance.
level of resistance at 740.
Yep. 18,727, 18,729. That's actually a big resistance area in
Yeah, I
NDX.
have that too. 740 I
Yeah.
have as a resistance.
So beware. So that's a key tell right there. So there could be a short provided before those projected SPX or EX levels just off of the NDX.
Right.
So, all right.
Yeah, it could be one of those. We've seen it quite often recently where you get these gap ups and then they push a little higher at open and then it provides a good short opportunity. So
Yep.
sort of a fade the gap up type play. So let's see what happens. Keep an eye on the video for some weakness. Mag 7, and let's see where the money's flowing, and we'll provide commentary in the room as usual, and we'll see you guys in the room.
Sounds good. All right. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, guys.